Whatever happened to Darth Vader's TIE Advanced after the first Death Star blew up? We never saw it again until now. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be doing a classic kit bash with some kits I had left over from when my kids raided my stash cabinet over the holidays. This is basically the TIE Advance with TIE Interceptor wings. First, I painted the cockpit and I made some highlights and shadows with various greys both inside and outside. You're not really going to see much here. Then I sprayed the outside hatch and tank grey instead of the usual black, which makes it a bit stark. Now I actually painted this kit twice. The first attempt was a bit bleak, a bit saturated, so I resprayed again with Ocean Grey, which gave a much warmer base tone. I then filled in the gaps with light grey and then highlighted with some more white added. This is just a lazy way to not worry about post shading or pre-shading for that matter. Just paint within the lines, add some highlights here and there, and it's done. I think this method gave more depth and interest compared to my previous effort, and here you can see the various greeblies I've added to the TIE Advance body and the rear wing thingy. If you remember, I did a video a while back on detailing up the 1/35th scale Ertl TIE Advanced. I'll put a link up here on the screen. This was taken a bit further since the Bandai kit is so well detailed. I wanted to show that the ship had had some more upgrades along the way. Time for panel line washes. Since none of these parts are going to be under stress, they've all been glued together, it's safe to use enamel panel line washes with the Bandai kit. I really like Tamiya's dark grey instead of the straight black, because it complements the tones that I've used here. I didn't use a gloss coat for the washes, it's not required when spraying that nice glossy MRP paint, and cleanup was easy with a damp cotton bud or Q-tip. On to the construction. Now these kits are fantastic. It's literally snapped together, fits nice and tight. I only had one issue. Yep, I snapped off one of those tin blaster barrels. I should have put them on first. Last. Anyway, it was an easy fix later on to just glue it back on. If you haven't built a Bandai kit before, mate, go and get one. They're so much fun. They're so easy to paint too. I'm itching to build another Millennium Falcon. Probably the best kit I've ever built. Probably why I've made 3 so far. Time to make some wings, well, Interceptor wings that is. First I sprayed the inner parts gloss black, then I applied the Vallejo steel to give it more of a shiny effect, because I wanted it to stand out just a little bit more from the normal black. For the non-steel parts of the wings, I wanted a blue-grey colour scheme, so I added a drop of blue to the ocean grey and light grey mix, which makes a bit of a colder colour than the greys on the TIE Advanced body, so it'll stand out a little bit more. Next, panel line washes. Here, however, I used black because I wanted to really highlight the contrast with the blue. I tried the MIG blue black wash as well in some areas, but I spilt it transferring to a spare Tamiya extra thin bottle. Yeah, so you can see why my hands are so dirty there. Anyway, can you see some Merlin engine parts on those wings? What other greeblies did they use back in the day to make these things? With a flat coat to seal the wash in, it's time for assembly. This was a little fiddly since the steel wing bits didn't lock in completely with authority. They just sort of sat there until you sandwiched them in with the outer wing parts, and then it was completely fine. You may notice I've also added some greeblies to those TIE Interceptor wings. Those are 1/144 scale Millennium Falcon landing gear parts. The edges of the wings were a very snug fit, requiring a bit of force, but they're all keyed in the right way, so you can't just get it wrong. Again, no glue is used here, all the parts snap together, even the small parts like the blasters. And confession time, I actually sprayed all these parts on the sprue, and then I just touched up the paint after assembly, which made it even easier. Time for the blending of the two to KITBASH. Here I use Tamiya quick setting glue for a nice hot setup between the parts. You may notice on the inside of the TIE Interceptor wings the filling around the male notches, which for some reason fit the female notches on the Advanced perfectly, but the space around them needed to be flat. This is all covered up by the Advanced body anyway. And with those parts glued together, it's done. Well, almost. It's time to make a base. This is an off-brand 1/100 scale Gundam hangar that I bought off eBay that I found trawling just one day, as you do. The parts basically snap together with no fuss, and they give you a few bit of options here and there, but I wanted to work out the right way to display this, what do you call it, KITBASH tie, a hybrid tie, TIE Advanced 2. They give you some different struts and pieces and holes in the hangar floor to move things around, and I worked out the best way to pose them because I wanted to lift the tie off the ground a little bit. The main problem with this hangar kit, and it's because it was pretty cheap, is the moulding's quite poor. There's sink marks, flash everywhere. I covered up some of the bigger ones with some H-beam styrene pieces just to add a bit of texture there. I also added a simple lighting setup for the hangar with 3 volt red LEDs and a coin battery that was hidden in the back plate. The hangar was sprayed in a dark grey black base coat mix, and then I added highlights throughout with the dark grey only just to give it a bit of volume. But the effect here is I really wanted it to blend into the background and have the tie stand out to the front. And there it is posed on the hangar deck. I'm glad I painted that cockpit nice and light or you wouldn't see a thing. The finished pictures show the difference between the two parts, but not so different it looks out of place or weird. I think the Dark Lord himself would appreciate this upgrade. In fact, I think he'd give his right hand for it. Anyway, I love making these sort of left out of field things. I hope you like them too. I intend on doing a lot more of these on the channel. Stay tuned and thanks for watching. Cheers.